Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast, the Day After show, where we go through everything that happened yesterday against Newcastle in the Premier League. We lost that game 1-0. First time we've lost since, was it 2011, 2012? Second
14, yes.
win in Premier League history for Newcastle against Chelsea. Second win in 35 years, if I'm not wrong. Whatever it is. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, we've got a lot to discuss today, guys. We've got a lot to discuss. Bear with me if I do turn my camera off. I have a very dodgy neck, which is why I wasn't at the game yesterday. You know, when you just wake up and something's wrong. I feel still like it's slanted, you know, it's slightly pointing the wrong way. I'm having to like force it to the right. But nonetheless, we move. Anyway, glad to be joined by Saeed and Scott. Good to see you, boys. Dharmesh is going to be joining us very shortly as well, so we will have a nice panel of four. And I think we want to try and get as many opinions on this as possible as well. So let us know in the chat how you're feeling about everything. I feel like Dharmesh, who's actually coming on now, to be fair. Let's see if he's ready. How are we doing, Dharmesh?
Yes, big up, lads. Big up, everyone.
Good timing, mate. Good timing. I was literally just talking about you. But I was just saying, I think, Dharmesh, out of everyone, I feel like you're going to be the one with the most level-headed opinions. So it's good to have you on here. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I just have that like if I had to pick out of the three of you, I'd say Dharmesh is probably the most level-headed. I mean, that's my opinion.
I don't know about that, bro. Depends what it's about, innit?
I know exactly what Scott's going to say, and to be fair, Saeed, like, I feel like you're moderately level-headed, probably somewhere in the middle. To be fair,
I think we all are. To be fair, it's just obviously like, yeah, if you guys see
Scott's
something,
fucking done with this team. He's done.
No, I don't blame him. To be fair, like,
we had a chat.
Reason, so yeah,
we had a chat the other day, didn't we, Scott? We were like the joy of this team. What's that, Saeed?
You're talking about Garnacho. I think.
Have you got a mic, Saeed? Because I can't really hear you.
Oh crap! Let me get my microphone.
Yeah,
everything's connected, bro.
But yeah, Scott. I mean, we had a chat about this. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
And we were like, it's just fucking shit, isn't it? Following Chelsea, like, where's the desire to go and watch the team?
So this is before the game as well. This wasn't even on. Like, this was before the game yesterday.
Yeah,
crowd was very flat as well yesterday. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if you want me to go into it or not, but yeah, yesterday I thought was probably the lowest point that I've sort of felt this season in terms of all the home games that I've been to this season and that we've had this season. I generally can't remember a terrible performance that we've had like this season. At least, and obviously we lost to Sunderland and Brighton at home, but at least there was some positives to take out of it. But this was literally nothing positive about yesterday. Yeah, just shambolic. It was flat. Crowd was flat. Crowd didn't see up for it, to be fair, as well. It was very quiet. I mean, yeah.
Mate, I'll be real. I heard 3 chants the whole game. I heard 2 Chelsea, 2 of them, and I think I might have heard an inkling of a Carefree, or maybe a Reece James. Yeah, that was it.
When he got his contract extension, but yeah, overall, just yesterday was poor. I mean, we didn't see up for it. There was no reaction to, obviously midweek and stuff, which we all wanted, I guess, to give us some sort of hope. But yeah, I can't argue with any fan that wants the manager out at this point. I mean, obviously, there's deeper issues than the manager, but he definitely has to take into account. He definitely has to take some of the blame for what's been going on in this month, to be honest with you, because it's not been good at all this month from Rosenior.
It's been a tough month. It's been a tough
month. And I saw we were linked with Luis Enrique. I was just like, wow, that's just a joke, ain't it?
I wouldn't believe that. But is it that Indicala source? I think it's that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
I wouldn't really believe it. I mean, and I think didn't we reject Enrique already, or didn't the owners reject Enrique already, or something like that?
Yeah, they rejected him because apparently he wanted a lot of things to change.
He basically wanted what we want as fans. So
yeah,
Josh jokes is at the time he wanted 2 new wingers, and our wingers at the time were Madueke and Mudryk, both of which currently don't play for the football club anymore.
Yeah, where do we start with this one?
There's only one place you can start with the game yesterday, and there's only. I'll be honest. There's only one place you can start and indeed finish with the game yesterday, and that is squarely at the manager. That is solely and completely at the feet of the manager.
Are we just diving straight in?
I think
we did ease ourselves in on the last podcast, so maybe I mean, it's not a bad thing. Just
I was gonna say, like, and that was at least like a fight, you know, going toe to toe with one of the best teams, if not the best team in Europe. This is a Newcastle team who we have beaten at home every single year, or not lost to. I don't know about beaten, but not lost to. Any year outside in the last 14 years. I am so incredibly tired of this manager, and we're 2 months deep.
Can we also include the fact that they literally had a makeshift midfield, no Tonali, no Bruno G, no Joe Linton. They'll play with Nick Automata in midfield and Jacob Ramsey and Joe Willock. I don't think those three have ever played in midfield together.
No, to be fair, I've heard. What are you talking about as a trio?
As a trio, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Because I heard Automata started playing in midfield. I was like, that's a bit weird, but okay.
Forget trio. Those take Automata out of it. The double pivot has never played together. Because that both of those guys, by the way, are two guys who regularly play on the wings because they can't get games in midfield for Newcastle, and that was their double pivot.
Yeah, and really bullied us the whole game. Really, I mean, all of their joy was coming down the middle. I've never seen us like that exposed in the middle. I think last time I probably was when, funny enough, when Pochettino was our manager. It's had that sort of reminiscence to it. It honestly felt like Poch was a manager yesterday, not Rosenior. But yeah, obviously we're going to go more into it and stuff. But definitely the manager has to take most of the blame for yesterday and what's been going on past couple of weeks with Chelsea.
Would we feel any different if Poch was manager? By the way, because I will say this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think I'll end up saying it again. Is you take away the trophies that Maresca won us last season, I'll take away the Club World Cup because I think whatever happened, we would have won the Conference League. And I just think to myself, like, all you had to do was basically not sell Gallagher, try and just play and build a little bit more around players like Chalobah, and we wouldn't have invested all that time in other managers like Maresca, like Rosenior. We wouldn't be in this situation. We'd have a squad that are familiar with each other, and we'd have a manager that at least we know he's very, very proven at consistently getting Champions League football when he doesn't necessarily have, as much in his arsenal in terms of the other clubs he's competing against. Because now we're looking at Chelsea and we're going, well, we don't generate enough revenue we won't be generating enough revenue with our stadium. We're capped there. So that's a disadvantage. We don't have a front of shirt sponsor. We're not very good with the business side of negotiations. We can't invest anymore because we've already invested so heavily. And what we have at the moment is still really inexperienced and we haven't gelled. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, well, you've got a manager that's not capable. You've got recruitment that aren't capable. You've got an ownership that isn't capable. But at least if you have one thing, which is a manager, it can drag everything else over the line. I'm not saying it's pretty, but it can work. And maybe, despite the criticism, we should give Maresca more credit for what he did last season. I mean, I always said that I respected what Maresca did last year, even though I didn't like him, because I felt like everything was, going against us. We didn't invest in January. We made ourselves worse. He wasn't getting backed up at times. And he had such a young squad of players. Imagine if we had Osimhen in the team. We'd probably still have Maresca as our manager, and we'd be competing much further up the table. We wouldn't be talking about ifs, buts, and maybes for Champions League. We'd be talking about winning leagues. That's the level that we could have got to, even with just one or two other players. And now I'm looking at Rosenior and I'm like, you're just a bum, man. I'm done with this guy. I'm done. I actually sort of contradicted myself when I did the fan cam yesterday, because I started off saying I'm going to give him till the end of March. And then within about 2 minutes, I said, fuck Rosenior. I'm done with him. I was like, I'm done with this guy. But it's like, it's the same thing as Maresca. It's the same. What have I got to look back on? I've got no excuse. At least Maresca, to be fair, I'll give you that. At least Maresca worked under Guardiola and played at the highest level. Rosenior didn't even do that. So
he worked under Rooney at Derby County. He's got an amazing knowledge of football, doesn't he? Wayne Rooney had.
I mean, not to mention what he said after in the press.
Oh, his comments, brother. If I hear another word out of his mouth, I'll throw myself out the window. He does my head.
I mean, it is quite nice to hear. It is quite nice that we've got a manager who doesn't speak any broken English, if that means anything. So at least you know exactly what he means. I feel like foreign managers, when they say waffle, and you're like, okay, he's Italian, he's Portuguese.
Oh no, I wish that.
That
I wish that
something different in your culture. But when you've got an English manager saying those sort of things, there's no getting away from it because, well, you're just English. So I mean, you haven't got any of those problems. But yeah, he is. I found the refereeing excuse very strange. Talking about the penalty.
He is chatting shit. Okay, let's just call a spade about that penalty. That was never a penalty. If anything, Cole Palmer's the one that stamped on his foot. He is literally scapegoating. He hasn't got a clue on what he's doing. He's pulling on anything that he can to take away from the fact that he is literally tactically inept. He is a garbage manager. However, I'm not just going to blame him because he should not be here. He should never have been in this football club. And I feel like it doesn't matter who you get at this football club now. You can get a prime Jose Mourinho. After he won at Porto, he will still fall out with these owners. Why? Because they're so fixated and they're so hell-bent on the fact that they don't want to buy players that are proven. They don't want to buy experience. They don't want to buy quality. What they want is very simple. They want profit margins. They're not going to look at a player that's young and he has a lot of potential and that you can flip him for value and say, hold on, is he the right profile? Does he fit the system that we're trying to play? Does he play on the left maybe because we've got a lot of options on the right? We might need somebody on the left there. No, they literally just think about profit, and they're so stupid because if they thought about profit, they think to themselves, hold on, the best way to be profitable at this football club is to win on that pitch. Because if you're winning on that pitch and you're getting into the Champions League every single season, you are generating so much money. And then guess what? Your front of shirt sponsor goes away because that 10 extra million that you're out here fucking about with, it will be sorted because somebody will pay that for a team that's constantly in the Champions League. It's just a joke from head to toe, and I'm done with them.
Anyone have anything to add to that?
No,
spot on to be fair. Yeah, spot on to be fair. I mean, Rosenior shouldn't have even been given the job in the first place. I mean, for me, Maresca shouldn't have never got sacked in the first place. But here we are. He's been fed to the lions, I guess, really. But we do have to sort of call it as it is. I mean, he's not good enough for Chelsea level. I mean, if you look at his CV, he's what did he manage before Strasbourg? I'm not sure.
His CV is managing at Derby, then Hull, then Strasbourg, and then us.
Yeah, that's definitely not good enough.
Sorry to interrupt, Damesh.
Yeah,
I will say, like, I'm not opposed to giving managers credit for when they have managed. I actually thought Strasbourg did okay with Rosenior, and I thought, from what I saw with Hull, I think he did an okay job as well.
Hull great under us.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that you're entitled to Chelsea. It's like,
that's not the CV that you got.
Fan cams, but I'm not doing interviews at Sky. I'm not presenting instead of Olivia Buzaglo or any of these people.
You should be, bro.
Well, maybe, you never know. But sorry, Damesh, sorry to interrupt. Keep
going.
No,
it's all good. I was going to say, I was just going to say that's not the CV that you sort of look at and want for a club like Chelsea Football Club. Obviously, like, if all the managers that we've gone for historically, you've looked at the CV, but like, oh, they've done this at this club, they've done this at this club, they've won this, they've got this team into the Champions League, they've had some success at previous clubs, and they've obviously come to us and built themselves a sort of a legacy. But with the managers that we've recently been hiring under this ownership, no one has had a CV, and that reflects on the players as well. Like, look at a player like Liam Delap, for example, his CV. I mean, look, going from Ipswich to Chelsea, that's the hugest jump ever. I mean, like that's obviously delving more into the players, but it's similar in terms of we're just jumping at any sort of opportunities we can, but we're not actually looking at what we need right now as a club to take ourselves forward. We're just the recruitment and the owners are just jumping in, splashing all this money. I mean, look, it's a 1.52 billion pound squad that we've assembled, and definitely under the previous ownership, we would have spent that money better and elsewhere to make Chelsea elite again. And that's exactly where the root issue is. But I mean, Rosenior tactically, I mean, like the past 2 games, I mean, obviously we're talking about the Newcastle game, but even starting off with the PSG game, starting Jorgensen in goal. I mean, Sanchez has been probably arguably one of our best players this season. You drop him for arguably our biggest game of the season, and then he goes and does that. And then even yesterday, I mean, the gaps in midfield and the man-to-man marking was just shocking. And then I echo what Scott said about his comments before and after the game. I mean, no accountability, just deflecting, not really taking any sort of fault for any of the game. It's just more deflections on the game, and it's annoying as well because after that Villa game, we had a somewhat convincing win against Villa. I mean, after a shaky first 10 minutes, we did play well against Villa, and then we shot ourselves in the foot again. We're back to square one, where United have won. Obviously, Villa have dropped points, which is fortunate for us. They played each other. The Liverpool obviously dropped points as well, which is good, but they're still ahead of us by 1 point. Brentford go a point behind us if they win, so we're back to square one, where we're relying on other teams to sort of mess up for us. But we can't keep doing that. And look at the run that we've got coming up in March as well. I generally don't see us winning a game in the rest of March in the Premier League at least. I mean, we'll get through Port Vale. I'm pretty sure. Well, pretty sure we will convincingly. But then the rest of the sort of Premier League games that we have in March and going into mid-April, I don't see us winning a game. I don't know about you boys, but that's how I feel.
You know, we have 48 points in 30 games. 48 points.
We're third since Rosenior's come in, apparently, in the table. That's what he said, right?
Oh.
By the way, like I'm all for managers coming out and defending themselves, and I don't know if that's real. I'm guessing it is. I don't even have anything.
He defended himself when he played, and he defended himself when he played Sanchez ahead of Jorgensen.
That's not what people want to hear.
I used to say you can't defend the indefensible, but maybe they can defend themselves. You know.
Well, I mean, there's only so many excuses that you can do each game, right? It's like, I'll give you an example. Obviously, it's Mother's Day today. When I sent my mum, it was her birthday in February. Obviously, my card arrived late. Big trouble there. So I was scared. I'll be honest. You know what it's like when you're like, oh man, and you know you've got to call her at some point. And you're a bit scared to see what the reaction is because you know she hasn't received the card yet. Anyway, managed to get away lightly, but I knew there was something wrong. I was like, oh shit, I better get Mother's Day right. And it's Thursday, and I've still not done anything. So we've got some flowers delivered, and they arrived today. And the card I sent on Friday, I paid £15 so that it would arrive on the Saturday. So not first class, but like guaranteed delivery. Hasn't arrived. So as soon as she answered the phone today, I got the coldest response. And I was like, all right. And she was like, And I was like, well, did you receive the things I gave you? And she went, what things? She hadn't received anything. I went, the flowers, the card? She went, no. She checked, obviously, she got the flowers and everything. So I was all right in that sense. Point being, if she hadn't received the flowers, I would have been fucked. All right. And there's only so many times I could make an excuse as to why I gave you a late birthday card and then didn't even receive your Mother's Day card. Eventually, she's going to go, just don't bother. I'm sick and tired of it. And that's the stage that we're getting to with Rosenior, is we're looking at this guy and we go, okay, well, you've spoken about the Villa win. Fair enough. I mean, it was a good win. You've spoken about your record since you've come in. If we were to start the season from that point, you've spoken about a number of different factors. And I say, okay, fine. I haven't got anything against it.
Can I ask you, Alex, what record does Rosenior have since he's come in? What record
He says that Chelsea are third since he's taken
he
over.
said that. He said that.
That's what he said. Yeah.
This flipping arrogant prick. Okay, this guy has the audacity to speak like this every single time that he's had to show some sort of quality as a manager. He's flipping failed. Okay, first leg against Arsenal. If it wasn't for Garnacho, we lose that 3-0. Garnacho coming off the bench and scoring off the back post, 3-0. Okay, like Scott said the other day, João Pedro turned into Super Saiyan against Napoli, smacking it with his left foot outside the box. João Pedro saved us. What happened against Arsenal in the second leg? We didn't even play football. We had Liam Delap. The guy, he's got the turning circle of a yacht and he's playing right wing. Okay? He failed in that game as well. Third time against Arsenal, he failed 2-1. I was in the stadium, Arsenal away, and we didn't even create a chance from open play. That whole flipping day, we turned into set piece FC, failed again. Yeah, Leeds, we play samba football for 60 minutes. Guess what? 2-2. Burnley fails. Those aren't. You wouldn't say those are times where he has to show his managerial pedigree. Fair enough, isn't it? Villa, he got lucky because I think it was John McGinn, Kamara, and Tielemans are all out injured, and they're in terrible form. He failed again. He failed against PSG. He decided to play Robert Sanchez against Jorgensen. This man has failed at every moment that he's had to show some sort of quality. So how dare he sit there like he's the best thing since sliced bread and speak like this? This is what I mean. This is why Scott gets pissed off when he speaks. This is why I get pissed off when he speaks. This is why the fan base get pissed off. Bro, you're still learning your craft as a manager, okay? We are trying to help you by not calling you out, yeah? But you are testing our patience. We all know that you shouldn't be here. We're trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe not that he's the third. He's got the third best record since he's coming in. Maybe not that.
The other side is you do what Potter did and you just collapse, right?
No, but like
context of the argument.
Take some accountability for the. There's two things. Number one is take some accountability for what's happening. Like in games, I mean. And number two, and this isn't so much in press conferences or whatnot, but learn from your mistakes. Outside of Sanchez in goal, which was only in goal because Jorgensen got injured, was the exact same back line that held 5 against PSG. Why? Why is it the same back line that held 5 against PSG? Why are you playing the same team that played 3 days ago? Why did you not decide to rotate anyone in or out? Why is Gusto playing right back again? Why did the two Chuckle brothers play centre back again? And why is Cucurella playing again 3 days after coming back? That's jokes, by the way. What's it called? We're playing Cucurella 3 days after the last game, and he's just come back from an injury, a hamstring injury, I think, as well. So that's great. Why is Reece in midfield again? That worked. Like, there's no learning from mistakes. It's so annoying because he tried this shit at Strasbourg and it worked because it was Strasbourg. It was Barco in midfield. It was Chilwell at centre back. It was Moreira turned into a wing back and Ciso as a wing back. Like he found stuff that kind of worked. And it worked there. He comes to Chelsea and he thinks he can do the same. No, you can't do the same because certain guys are not good enough. You can't have the amount of open space you have in midfield with with the centre backs we have. You can't play a high line with these centre backs. We've already seen that under multiple managers. It doesn't work, but you think you know better. That's cool. You can't have a disconnect in midfield like we had yesterday. We've already seen that under Pochettino, but you think you can. That's cool. Like, you can't have wingers isolated 1v1 constantly and expect them to do something. We saw that under Maresca, but you think you know better. That's cool. It's the same shit. He is all of the negatives of Pochettino and Maresca wrapped into one with basically none of the positives. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Most of his positives from what he's brought has come from the man management side of things and the motivational things, which has worked with like João Pedro, for example. Outside of João Pedro and Garnacho, who I will actually say, I don't really have any energy to talk about players yesterday, positively or negatively. Garnacho was actually good. He was like the only player in the first half trying to do anything, trying to create anything of note. No one else. He was the only player. But I don't have energy to talk about the players.
Yeah.
don't have
This is
energy.
the thing, though. Like, we did create chances. It's not like we didn't create. We did.
Palmer
create.
had a couple of chances. Delap obviously had one great chance where it
fuck
fell to
it,
him,
my
and
God.
yeah,
my
Just,
God.
I
just
think that
fuck
almost hit
him.
while sitting. To
Sorry,
be
I
fair,
had to get it out there.
what's up, bro? Sorry.
I just had to say fuck him. He's
Yeah.
so useless.
Genuinely, like, we've been through the number 9s that we've had, and I'm genuinely, well, obviously this might be a good idea for a different video, but he genuinely might be the worst number 9 we've had, I think.
Yes.
Or wearing the 9 shirt, like that's what up for debate. Or I don't know if it is up for debate, but he had a great chance to make it 1-1. Obviously, coming on. To be fair, like, he did okay coming on compared to normal. But when you look at that chance that he had, I mean, come on, like, you're starting. You're number 9 for Chelsea, man. Like, you're a striker. That is the one chance that you feast off, or like your instinct should be there just to bury that into the back of the net. I mean, it wasn't even a difficult chance, to be fair, but
then again, the lap shouldn't be here though. When you
he shouldn't. No, that's
shouldn't be
exactly it. Yeah, that's what's going back on with the CV stuff. I mean, look, the transition from going from Ipswich to Chelsea shouldn't be that. It should be an Ipswich to like a Fulham or to an Everton, then establish yourself properly, and then go. Then you get your move to Chelsea. You don't go from a relegation fighting team straight to a Champions League fighting team. That shouldn't be how it is.
You know, when I think about it, Tammy Abraham came through when we were in the transfer ban. But Tammy Abraham still had people to work with. He was still learning off Olivier Giroud. I remember Mason Mount came through that season as well because Hazard had left, and we brought him back from his loan at Derby. But he was still learning from the likes of Willian, Kovacic. Sometimes he'd be playing off the left. Sometimes he'd be playing in midfield. I think Billy Gilmore that season was coming through the ranks as well. But he was learning off the likes of Kovacic, Jorginho, Ross Barkley. You know, these guys that have been playing football for the past how many years. And this is my issue when people say, oh, we're building a team that's only going to get better. Players just don't get better by themselves. They need to have people like that are better than them, that they work with, that know the game a bit more, that have a bit more understanding of the game, a bit more footballing like you, that they can be a sponge off and receive all of that information and work on their craft. You're putting in these young players into a position where they're not going to be able to get that much better. Like Reece James, the reason why he's so good today, in my opinion, is largely because he was learning from the likes of Azpilicueta and all of those great defenders that we had, Thiago Silva. This is my issue with this club. When are they going to wake up and smell the flipping coffee? Like, Delap shouldn't be here. None of these players should be here. We spent 250 million in the summer. 250 million. And you brought in Gittins, Garnacho, Liam Delap, João Pedro, who's come good now, which I'm very happy for. I forgot who else we got, but Jarrell Hatto. But when you think about it, the fact that you've got Garnacho and Gittins there, and Delap, you could have got a good centre-back, like a very, very good centre-back, like a Mark Gahey level centre-back. And you could have got a Victor Osimhen. And I guarantee you, we are comfortably in the top 4. You're shooting yourselves in the foot every single chance that you get. And I don't see what we're going to do in the summer. You pissed off that January window because we practically had no money. You bring in Mamadou Sarr for Liam Rosenior, and he's sitting on the bench and he doesn't even use him. There's so much dysfunction in this club from head to toe. I don't see where we go from there. And I am praying that this season finishes. Actually, not that the season finishes. I'm praying for us just to get to that Spurs game, and I can somehow just like not remember anything from now to the end to that Spurs game, because I really want to relegate Spurs. That's a trophy for me. Like look how shallow I sound. Like relegating Spurs is a trophy for me. We grew up at a time where we wanted to win Champions League, Premier Leagues. I've seen us win the Premier League on the last day of the season by 1 flipping point, and Didier Drogba was smacking in a hat-trick against Wigan. And now I'm looking at Liam Delap, who has a chance 5 yards into the box and decides to send it to the Matthew Harding upper. I'm sick of this, bro.
Big shout out, just one thing. Big shout out to everyone. Lewis is waiting. So once we get to 100 likes, he will be jumping on. Smash that like button straight up to 100. It has picked up, to be fair. We're on about 70, so we need about 30 more likes. We've got over 300 of you. So come on, guys, show some support. If it's not for me, if it's not for Dharmesh, if it's not for Scott or Saeed, do it for Carefree. Although, I mean, I don't know how carefree you can be these days, the way we're going. I think it's starting to get to the stage where It's becoming very draining watching Chelsea. So yeah, run them up, guys. Respect to everyone. Smash that like button. Go on. Sorry, Scott, mate.
I was to say, I think the Tammy Abraham comparison is actually a fantastic comparison to make in terms of. I was never like Tammy's biggest fan when he was here, and I always think there was errors to his game, and he was someone needed to improve upon. But you look at what he did beforehand, right? Number one is when he came into the team, there was no expectation on him. There's no expectation on the team really because of how we were. No expectation. Even with Delap, right? No one was saying he was going to be the best striker, but you had idiots in this fan base who wanted to, as they want to do with all these players, put them on pedestals they could never get to. They wanted to like say he was going to be the second coming of Harry Kane or whatever, or say he was going to get massive heights. Cool. Then you look at what they did previously. Tammy Abraham, before he came into the Chelsea team, had 3 seasons on loan in the Championship, 2 of which he was the second top goal scorer in the Championship with 20 plus goals in 2 different seasons for 2 different teams. So he's already shown he's a high-level scorer in that league. By comparison, Liam Delap had 1 season on loan at Stoke where he got 3 goals. He had half a season on loan at Preston where he got 1. And he had a half season on loan at Hull where he got 8. So you're talking across...
Did he play in the Championship for Ipswich as well?
Oh, he went straight to them when they got promoted. He was
I don't know about that. I don't think that's true.
It was true. They played 24-25, yeah? In the Premier League.
I thought that was his second season at Ipswich.
Nope. On the 13th of July 2024, he joined for 20 million on a 5-year contract. He joined the season.
Wasn't there an initial loan? Or was that not for Ipswich?
Nope. Oh, before joining Ipswich, he played for Rosenior at Hull for half a season at right wing, where he got 8 goals. So you're telling me across 2 seasons with 3 different clubs, he got 12 goals in the league, in the Championship, and then proceeded to get 12 goals for Ipswich. This is what I'm saying. He was never at the level to play for us. I'll admit I didn't think he'd be this bad, but even so, he was never at the stage where he was gonna become some world beater. But this is what we do with these players.
Didn't Tammy Abraham have a loan spell at Swansea in the Premier League as well? He actually did play Premier League football as well before, didn't he?
Sorry, I was wrong. Yes, I saw Swansea and thought it was Championship. He had 2 seasons in the Championship and 1 season in the Prem. And the season in the seasons in the Championship, he was top goal scorer. Season in the Prem was bad. He got 5 and 31, but still.
But Swansea got relegated that year anyway.
Yeah, so Swansea got relegated that year. But yeah, but this is, and even Tammy was not good enough ultimately, but that was the level that you needed to be in the Championship. Because this is the thing, I'm all for like signing Championship players if they're good. I wanted us to sign Ivan Toney straight out of the Championship, like when Brentford got promoted, because I saw him, in the what's it called, the playoffs and whatnot, and I saw how good he was, and like, cool, that's a player who I can see that like the stuff he brings, see the goals and everything. So I'm all for signing Championship players if they're good enough. We sign a Championship player that wouldn't start for the top of the Championship right now.
Yeah.
So, and it's just that's an indictment on this team. But like I said, I don't even have the energy for these players in this team, because as shit as some of them are, and they are unbelievably shit, they're going to look worse when you put them in a system and a setup that makes them look worse. Reece James is not a midfielder. He might have played really well in midfield at times, and I think we can all admit he has had really good games in midfield. He's had bad games in midfield, like yesterday. He's had really good games. He is not a guy that you should then have to cover the centre backs when they step out of position to cover the left back, who's inverted into midfield. Because that's how the first goal comes.
Did you see the space that Tino Livramento had to pick up that ball and just walk through?
Yes,
and put it in. And did you see how laughable we were? The defensive structure, how Trevor decided to follow Nick Voltemada with Reece James. Like, there's so much dysfunction in that back line. They are so bad. There's no leadership. And Wesley Fofana is somebody that I need to get onto. Wesley Fofana, since he's come back from that injury, aside from maybe the Everton game, I'd say, where he was very, very good, he's been poor. He's been below standards. He can barely. When he was at Leicester, he was able to play on the halfway line. He had the agility. He had the ability to defend 1v1. Now, none of that is there anymore. Aerially, he's not that good. Playing out from the back, he's below par. The defenders that we have at this club is absolutely laughable. And I keep saying it, people love to compare one of our defenders to another. No, our defenders, compare them to some of the good defenders in the league. Compare them to a Consa, compared to them to a Mark Gahey. They don't level up to that. Our centre backs are all closer to tossing than they are to some of those guys that I mentioned. And this club, they're not going to sign any centre backs. They're probably going to get rid of Trevor. They're probably going to get rid of Josh for some profitability, because of course they're academy players, so 100% pure profit there. But when I look at it, who the hell are we going to sign? And would any top class players want to even come to us now? This is done. Like, I have no hope.
How are we doing, Lewis? You okay, mate? Last time I saw you, we were having steak and frites.
Yeah. I wish we could go back to Paris, but then I remember what happened in Paris as well, so maybe not. I've tried just doing an emergency stream on that game, and it's like one of the most nothing games I've ever spoken about. I was saying that game could have been a TikTok. It could have been an email, because we had a nice 17 minutes, and then nothing. Just nothing. Just move the ball to the left, cross it, move it to the right, cross it, and repeat. That was all our game. That was Chelsea for 75 minutes straight.
Is there anything wrong with the crossing? I feel like we've been critical of not whipping in the ball at times and just passing around without.
Shit.
So is it just the execution of the crosses, or is it the tactic?
Yeah, if you're good, if you're
no one to cross it to.
That's it. If you're going to cross it, you'll cross it. Number one, like Lewis said, you have to have options in the box to hit. The only options we had were João Pedro and Cucurella. Where have I seen that before? And also, your crosses need to be perfect. I think I can remember one great cross, which was from
James.
Sorry, two great crosses then. The other one was from Palmer in the second half. It was an in-swinger. I can't remember.
I think Delap missed the chance.
I thought Garnacho, would you call those balls crosses in the first half?
Yeah, the ones before we conceded. I hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, after that point.
Before.
Cool. But then, okay, after we conceded the crossing, when we went to like cross and inshallah, the crossing was terrible from everyone outside of, like I said, those like 2 or 3 we had.
Palmer had one into Delap, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, and it's, like, that's the thing. If you're gonna hit crosses, and all you're gonna do is hit crosses, especially against the type of centre backs that Newcastle had, like we know that Malik Tior is good aerially. Like we've seen that since he's come in. Dan Burn when he came on is just massive. I think they had Botman as well at the back. I can't remember, but he's good aerially. Like if you're gonna hit hit crosses into areas where there's these centre backs, you need them to be perfect to stop them getting there, or you also need to make sure there's options, like Lewis said, and there was neither. So it was never going to work. You had a flawed system from the start, and it showed.
I mean, I didn't even when I went over when I did everything. Obviously, tactics is relevant, but there are games where it's like, I don't give a fuck how you press. I don't care if you cross. I don't, whatever you do. But if you can't get a result, and then that turns into a consistent theme, then I'm like, you know what really annoyed me? Obviously, watching the game at home, I never have this experience in the stadium, is when it then panned back to the manager, and I could see his expressions and his reactions.
It panned back to him like every 5 minutes.
No, it really pissed me off, because it was like when Palmer didn't get that penalty, he was like so confused. He was like having a pop at everyone. I was like, mate, like, fair enough, appeal for it, but your game plan can't rely on the referee to give you half a penalty. That's not what this is about. And if it wasn't that, it was him frowning or complaining about something else. Like, again, Tuchel used to do it all the time. Mourinho, used to do it. Conte used to do it. I mean, I used to sit behind Tuchel. I'd actually argue that Tuchel, I think, was the most effective communicator that I've ever seen on the bench, because he didn't do it all the time like Conte. So it wasn't like, like a little chihuahua. It's like, all right, mate, be quiet. But at the same time, when he spoke, it had a real meaning. And I just feel like, well, at the beginning, I thought at least Rosinier's got energy. Potter never had that. But it's turning into this sort of pointless, just yapping. And not to mention the clapping. I'm just, it stinks of, I don't know what the word is. It's not what it is. There's no aura. I don't have any trust in what I'm seeing.
Do you know what it is, Alex?
Or any confidence.
Do you know what it is? It's performative. It's the exact same as what Arteta does, with even less, like, not necessarily meaning, but even less weight behind it. Because at least with Arteta, right, like, he does it all the time, but there's a result that comes from it. They're top of the league, and, you know, it leads to something. It's annoying as hell for anyone else watching, like, when it pans to him and he's doing all this bullshit. It's annoying as hell. But something comes from it. With Rosenior, it's all performative. Nothing comes from it. It's all just meaningless. Like, it's all just him doing it. I'm sure there probably is a reason in his mind, but it just looks like there's no reason because it doesn't lead to anything. It's just him, like, clapping or trying to G the players up for no reason, or like, it's just bullshit. It's just him.
It's just looking busy.
I don't have anything against managers doing that. Like, when you talk about Arteta, that for me isn't a problem. But what is a problem is when I look at the manager, I have nothing to really look back on to give me confidence. A bit like what I had with Maresca last season. I'm like, really? Is this what I'm leaning on to give me any faith? Then I'm not really understanding the decisions. I don't know who our goalkeeper is. I don't understand why we press and defend the way we do. I don't understand the build-up either, because I thought it was going to be a lot faster. If there was one thing I was certain of when he came in, I was like, I can't tell you about results, but I'm telling you we're going to be more entertained than we were under Maresca. And even now, I'm watching the TV and, like, my expression of that was the whole match. When
Maresca was going to leave and suddenly we'd learn how to break a low block. That was a plan.
I mean, it wasn't even about that. It was just like, I want to see more. I want to see a willingness to be more direct with the ball instead of passing backwards. Like, show some ambition to get
what
forward.
What you get with that is more turnovers, and then you get your defense tested more. And we don't want our defense tested more. That's why we play more slower football. But then you have half the fan base crying about how boring the football is. Well,
yeah, I will say
you are now.
Some of this comes back on the players, to be fair, where we have players that have a complete inability to take the ball on the half turn, to play 1-2 touch passing, to speed the game up. Like, we have so many players that want 8-9 touches, well, not even 8-9, want like 3-4 touches on a football, and want to slow the game down, want to, like, get into the game, want to be able to see their options. Like, you can only do that when you have time and space. You don't have time and space when the team is pressing you. The only time you get time and space is when they step off you, when they're already 1-0 up. Like yesterday, Newcastle were pressing the hell out of us the first, 15 minutes, like when we were, like, playing well. Then they score, they sit back. And the only time they pressed us was when they saw moments where they could get at us, There was a moment I remember, I think it was the first half, where we play a ball into midfield. Enzo gets on. It takes about 4 touches. They see the moments there to press him. They press him. It goes, but I think Chalobah passed it to him. He passed it back to Fofana. Great. We've gained nothing. The balls end up in the same area. The Newcastle team take 4 steps forward. So now what? They're 4 steps closer to our goal. We've gained nothing from that. No ground. We've done nothing.
Do you see a plan when we have the ball?
No.
Like with Maresca, there was a constant pattern, right? Do you feel like you understand what we're doing when we build out?
I don't understand the plan because everything keeps changing. And this is another point. I think I made it earlier. You had stuff that worked, right? Whether it was perfect is a different matter, but you had certain stuff that worked, right? The defense looked the defense never really looked okay. We've looked more open since he's come in, but it was still working, right? To a point. You had a system that worked with Palmer in the 10, Santos and Kaisedo midfield, and then Enzo on one wing as a weird false winger with another winger on the other side, with either Gusto or Cucurella overlapping. It was working. You've decided, again, like the goalkeeper thing, for no fucking reason, to go Enzo 10, Palmer on the wing, put James in midfield the last 2 games because Santos has suddenly committed murder or whatever he's committed, because he, despite being the best midfielder since Rosenior's come in, is now 4th choice midfielder, or even 5th choice at times. Wonderful. You've decided to change all that. We've got Cucurella inverting again. We've got Gusto inverting again. Like, why the fuck did you change that? We've got João Pedro looking isolated against 2 centre-backs, again for about the 3rd game running. Like, why in the fuck did you change things that weren't broken? Yes, Enzo didn't look great as a false winger, but it was the rest of the team worked. So who cared? You know, it might not look perfect in defense, but at least you had Kaisedo and Santos being able to mop up at times. It was kind of working. You changed it for no fucking reason. So now most of the team looks worse. João Pedro looks worse. You know, Enzo looks about as bad as he's been basically since Rosenior's come in most of the season, but it is what it is. Palmer looks worse. Gusto looks worse. You know, Cucurella looks worse. All these guys.
Do you think Palmer looks worse?
I think Palmer does look worse in moments. Like, I think in moments he's good. Like, there's still some good moments he's bringing, but I do think he looks more. I think he looks worse in the position he's being in, if that makes sense. Like, I think he looks uncomfortable at times in attacking areas on that right hand side.
I don't think he looks uncomfortable. I think Palmer under Rosenior has a lot more freedom, and I think he carries the ball more. I think that he, takes more of an onus on doing things himself, which I like. I think your best players should do that. It's like if Messi constantly got the ball for Barcelona back in the day and didn't try and dribble through players, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you're clearly capable. I just think it's the end product that's annoying me.
I think he looks worse currently than when Rosenior first came in, is what I should say. Like, okay. I think when Rosenior first came in is what I mean with these players. Like, Gusto had gotten slightly better under Rosenior. He now looks back to his worst, I should say. Not back to his best, back to his worst. These centre-backs are worse. Like, we know my feelings on Fofana, right? But Fofana was not this bad under Maresca. At least under Maresca, there was a basis where you could start from with Fofana. We go, okay, he looks like if he can stay fit, he looks like a competent centre-back. He's not an A centre-back, but he looks competent. So much so that some people on this panel decided to say he was our best centre-back.
Well, I mean, we can't deny that when he's fit,
no,
he has been.
No, he's not our best.
No, I apologise again.
No, hang on a second. I'm not saying at this moment he's our best centre back. But if we look at Fofana at his best,
he's not our best centre back when everyone's fit, regardless. He's never been our best centre back.
At his best,
he's not better than Colwell.
I think that Fofana probably is our.
He's not better than Colwell and has never been better than Colwell. For us, he's never been better than Colwell. No, he's not. He's never been better than Colwell. Colwell is and always will be better than him.
Definitely a better ball playing centre back. I'll agree with you on that.
Better at everything. Better at commanding a backline.
I'm not lying on the Fofana hill right now. He can go fuck himself.
Aerially, Colwell's better. We've seen that. Like every aspect of defending, Colwell is better. Every single aspect of defending and what we care about from defenders, Colwell is better. Every single aspect. But even Fofana, like I said, he was a competent centre back. He looks like a bum under Rosenior, like a complete bum. Like the game yesterday, forget the PSG game was bad. The game yesterday, passing terrible. The touches, oh my word, the touches. Oh sweet baby Jesus, it was like watching Lukaku or Delap in defence. The one that Sanchez fizzes into him and he sends to Pluto and like somehow manages to recover because I don't even know who it was on the Newcastle team fucked that up. He looks like a bum. All these players look like bums, even though as bad as they are in certain moments, they're not this bad. They're not championship level defenders, which is what they look like right now, playing in the Prem.
I think Rosenior's asking for too much as well from Fofana in terms of playing out the back. I mean, the reason why he was sort of stable under Maresca is because he sort of sussed that out that Fofana can't play at the back as much, and then same thing with Sanchez. Like, look what he did with Sanchez as well. I mean, like. Robert Sanchez wasn't the best at this playmaking distribution role, but then Maresca identified that straight away and then told him to go longer a bit more often, and Fofana was doing that as well.
I mean, to be fair, it did take Maresca some time to adapt.
It did, to be fair, but then at least he adapted. I mean, we're not seeing that from Rosenior. Like Scott said, he's not learning from his mistakes, which we can all clearly see from the time that he's been with us so far.
The thing I'd argue on that point, Alex, because I agree with you, Maresca had to learn as well. Where I would argue the point is at least Maresca had to learn off of what they had under Poch, if that makes sense. Like, you take over from that team when Poch had it, it's like, you look at what was back, it's like, you're going almost polar opposites in terms of under Poch, it was just chaos. Like, it was just full chaos ball. We were so open defensively, trying to understand how you're going to then translate that into your team when you're possession football and, like, working out certain stuff. So, like, he probably didn't see that Sanchez couldn't play with the ball out of his feet, like on a high line or at the edge of his box, like he had with Hermansen, because we never did that under Poch. So that's not something that you can like try and replicate or watch the film on and go, that doesn't work. Rosenior he's playing a very similar system. He has the film and the previous games to go back and watch, because what he's doing is very similar. It's not completely identical, obviously, but at least what we're saying is very similar with tweaks. So you already knew that Sanchez couldn't play with the ball at his feet and play as a dictator and at the edge of his box. You knew Jorgensen wasn't a good goalkeeper, full stop, even if he could do that. You had the film on that and you chose to ignore it. You already saw this defense couldn't play in a high line. You have 2 managers now who've shown that. You've decided to ignore that. You've seen that, having Kaisedo or having this midfield be really open like we've had the last few games doesn't work. We're going to get carved open. And that's happened. So, while I agree on your point, Maresca had to learn, I think the learning process for Rosenior is a lot easier because there's a lot more evidence to show that what he's doing is not work, or would not work, I should say. And he chose
tried
to
it
do
in the
it.
Arsenal game, didn't he? During the first Arsenal game with where we saw how many touches Sanchez had of the ball, and we saw how sort of uncomfortable he was trying to play out that first leg game, where even all of us fans were frustrated. We're like, oh, what the hell is Sanchez doing? I mean, like, that's obviously the setup from the manager and how he's wanted to get him to play. But it was evident that Sanchez couldn't do the role that Rosenior wanted, and it's not really learned from it, I guess. So yeah,
I think it's a case of, as much as we all watch the game, I think a lot of people in a lot of scenarios go, you know what, I think I can change it or I can fix this, and then they go into it and they're like, oh, it's actually a bit worse than I realized, and maybe there's an element of that as well. But I think the issue that we have with Rosenior is he's already stated the expectation out loud as well. It's not like he's backtracked or anything like that. Obviously, Poch said one thing and then went, "Oh, okay, this is what I'm working with. Actually, maybe we're not going for a title here." And Rosenior hasn't really done that. I feel like he's still maintained a level of, we need to win. This is what we need to do, and you're putting that pressure on yourself as well. By the way, I like it. I think that it's good to try and keep the standard high. But if we speak like that every single week, and then we finish 5th, 6th, doesn't really mean much, unless maybe we got a domestic trophy or something like that. I mean, there's not much else that you can do to
even that would just paper over the cracks. It's just like at least we'd have one good thing to look at with this season. It just feels like a fucking write-off, in all honesty.
I mean, let me ask you this, boys. Now, we'll take Gary O'Neill out of the picture. Let's have a bit of fun with it. Why not? Let's have some fun. Can't have Gary O'Neill. Can't have a top, well-established manager either, because that's not what we do at Chelsea. Which manager do we bring in?
I don't know. Genuinely being serious, I don't know.
The manager market stinks. We were saying this before Maresca left.
The Fabregas thing is nice, but I'm being so serious. I bringing in a progressive manager, I think, would be a waste of time, because there's going to reach a point in which their system would not work with the players we've got, and you will not buy players that are going to work in that system. We've seen it before. Like, if you could, and I'm being so serious with this, I would do whatever it takes to try and pry Emery away from Aston Villa. Actually, Emery would suit our project.
I'll take Emery. So I'll take Emery in heartbeat.
What we're doing. He would suit what we're doing, but he'd
need whatever it
takes.
Because at least he can try and set us up defensively, and it will be like defensive counter-attack, and we've seen that that can work, and at least you might try and limit the chances we're going to get defensively, and we have at least got players that can do the counter-attack and stuff.
That's a great shout. That is a great shout.
I love Emery, but I don't think it's going to happen. I can't lie.
I don't think it's going to
happen. The issue is, even if we were to get any other manager, some of the best in the world. I've said this before. You're going to be in a position where these owners are just going to be not buying players that suit their system or that suit the way that they want to play. They're going to be buying players for profitability purposes. And when you're doing that, you're going to bring players into a club, into a place where they might not directly fit the system. So then it doesn't matter what manager you have. He's going to fall out with these owners because he's not going to be getting what he wants. Like, you know what I mean? Every engineer needs a toolkit, and you're not providing them with that. So where do we go from here? The only way that I see us ever winning a title again, the only way I see us ever winning a Champions League again is two ways. Either these owners stop this method, stop this this way of buying players, or they just fuck off. It's one or two things.
That's one way of saying it. That's for sure.
Did I say De Zerbi or
No,
De Zerbi wouldn't feel we'll do it. He'd fall out with them straight away.
not even that. Like it's gonna be the same issues. He's gonna want to play his way of playing, which isn't gonna work with some players we've got in his team, and then it's gonna end up looking shit at certain moments because like if we don't have the centre backs to play his system, which we don't have ball playing centre backs outside of Badiashile who reeks, and Sarr who won't get game time over the others, and Tosin who reeks. It's not going to work, and you're going to be back to square one. That's why I don't. If we're going to change manager, I don't want a, progressive, like front foot kind of style of like possession style manager because we're seeing the limitations that these owners are going to give them. If they don't sign the right kind of players for the system, you're fucked. It's not going to work. There is a ceiling. I also don't want Iraola, by the way, because again, it's the same issue you had under Poch. It's hella chaos ball with it being hella open at the back, and we know what our centre backs are like. We're going to concede 60 goals again.
This is a crazy shout, isn't it? And there's no chance he'd ever come, isn't it? Because he's not a yes man. But imagine Antonio Conte. He's the best.
He wouldn't last a week.
Yeah. He would have lost. Boy, that guy there.
I'd love it just to see the crash out, but ain't no.
That's what I mean. Imagine his interview on the last day, the way that he stepped out of Spurs, like the amount of light he'd bring. Oh my god! And also the fact that Conte and probably I say Mourinho, they're the two managers where I can say they can do the most with the least amount given.
The one that I'd say would potentially be on the market in the summer, but again, very unrealistic, would be wheeling Tuchel back. But that ain't gonna happen.
This is another interesting
thing. It ain't gonna happen. They ain't got the balls to say sorry.
This is another interesting one that I've thought about too. Fad. One that I'd incline to take a risk on is maybe Oliver Glasner.
I'd take
a risk on.
I'll take Glasner
just because it'd be completely different. I think the way that he sets Palace up, it will suit the players that we have as well. I think
the only issue you'd have with Glasner is I don't know how well our team would translate to his system in terms of positionally. Like, I don't know where you'd play certain guys to fit in the team, and I then think certain guys
like who, bro?
So I don't think most of our or some of our attackers, I should say, would fit his system. I don't think, and with these guys, I want to get rid of them anyway. But like Garnacho doesn't fit his system. I don't think he works as a 10, and I don't think he works as a wing back in that system unless you're going to play him right wing back. I don't know how Reece would do at wing back just because I don't want to risk the hamstrings personally. So you play him right centre back, then it has to be Gusto right wing back, and like
which could work.
I guess, but I'm tired of watching him play football. I then also don't know how the midfield would work setup wise. Like I don't know what he'd do with Enzo because the Enzo. By the way, on a side note, the Enzo deep line playmaker thing has to die because that was horrid yesterday. Yes, I don't know how. I agree. I like Glasner. I don't know how the setup would work though.
We could have Palmer in one of those sort of inside like forward positions.
Oh yeah, but like my front three would be Palmer, Esteval, and João Pedro, and I think that would work really well as the front three. It's just then like other positions.
Yeah, then Enzo could come in for Santos occasionally, then have Kaisedo obviously with the Lavia or with the Santos with the Enzo with the Reece at times as well. Then it could work. Like we've seen the best out of what Chalobah and the back three as well. We see like I actually think a back three, back five would suit our suit us best in terms of keeping
left wing back. I wouldn't really like Cucurella being there. I don't think Cucurella.
I think it'd be Neto.
I think it'd be Neto. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Neto is
he done amazing. He practically played in a left wing back position in the Club World Cup final, and like he was just making Hakimi work up and down.
He would be the only
thing it could work. This Glasner system could work, but obviously, like you said, Scott, like there's obviously little bits, obviously, of players you think about, like Cucurella, and so where would they sort of fit in the system, if that makes sense?
Boys, let me ask you about your take on this this little clip from after the game when Doobs came on and had a chat with Charlie.
People, I had the guy sit next to me earlier in the stadium. He's brilliant. But he said to me, "No, we shouldn't boo. Like it's not right to boo. Why not? They don't care about us, so why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we boo what we're seeing on the pitch? We're seeing dross. We're seeing predictable patterns of play. We're seeing shocking defending against a Newcastle team who, as you said, haven't won at Stamford Bridge in 14 years. Why can't I boo it? Why can't I chant Bluco out? Because they don't care about us. They've made that clear over what's gone on in the past couple of days. They couldn't care less about us. They're throwing away competition. I had a guy.
What do we
Bro,
think
I was
about that?
booing from home on my watch along. I can't blame people for booing in the ground.
And confirm as well.
Now, bro, that game was horrible, man. This is one of the worst Chelsea games I've watched this decade. And you know how many bad games we've seen?
Yeah,
that's top 5 worst games for me, probably.
Yeah, man, people put like, what, 70 quid down minimum? That man in Westview that paid up 3 digits to go watch that game? I don't blame them. Boo that shit. That's horrible. 4 years on the clear lake and they deliver that shit against a Newcastle side that didn't have the midfield. Boo them to death. Fuck them.
In my opinion, you can sort of do what you can as a fan. I mean, like, I'm not gonna if I see, for example, Lewis or Charlie or even Alex, for example, if I'm sat next to them and they start booing the players, I'm not gonna turn around and say, why the fuck are you doing that? Everyone can support how they want to, in my opinion. We've obviously limits. If they're starting fights, then obviously like that's a bit different. But I think everyone has their own right to support the way they can. If they feel like they want to boo Bluco and Clear Lake, yeah, fair enough. And people paid good money to watch yesterday's performance. My ticket yesterday cost me what, £67? I was in Mafia Upper yesterday. The Delap shot almost hit me in the face, but yeah.
and did you boo Domish?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But why can't you boo? Like, when you think about it, these lot, they didn't inherit like a club that was like in a tough place. They didn't inherit Wrexham. They inherited Champions League winners, a team that after winning the Champions League, we go to the Santiago Bernabeu and absolutely spank Real Madrid. And if it wasn't for Luka Modric putting in one of the greatest passes with that Travella I've ever seen in my life, we go through and probably see another semi-final. Like, we got to 2 domestic cup finals that year. We lost on penalties. Like, these lot did not inherit something bad. It was actually in a very good place. Like, they could have come in. They could have at least they could have continued the model that the Chelsea way that we were under, and maybe made a few tweaks here and there. They just come in, sack everyone from head to toe. You know, bring in 15 players, and just for the past 4 years, we've gotten worse. We've gotten worse in every single metric. Like, I don't know how people can be in that stadium, see somebody else booing, and have the audacity, the gall to say, "Why are you booing?"
Well, I mean, you know why? It's because they think, right, you got to support the players. This isn't helping them. But on the flip side, you're looking at it from a fan. You're going, hang on a second, I'm paying all this money, and this is what I'm getting. So I can understand why people don't like the booing. And to be honest with you, most of the time I would agree with that side, as opposed to, you know, the fans who make their voices known. But on this occasion, I fully understand why they're booing, because it's not just the players. It's not just the manager. There's a broader thing at play here. So even when you are telling one of the players to fuck off, I actually don't think that's entirely directed at the player. I think a lot of it is directed at the sporting directors, the recruitment, and the ownership. And it might not look that way to the players. Obviously, some of them are going to be offended and not happy with it. But yeah, and that's the message that I've heard from a lot of people anyway. And I think that that's true. I think that justifies a lot of the anger. Is, you know what? I am going to boo you, but it's because I want to be heard by the other people who aren't on the pitch. I think it's just a question then of, you know, are we going to get a response to that? And, you know, based on what we heard, I don't know. Well, I'm sure, Lewis, you definitely would have spoke about some stream. We did as well. You know, this whole fan meeting that Matisse was involved with and Daniel Finkelstein. Apparently, we're obviously building the best team in the world. And I'm like, well, is that delusion or is that, you know, just thinking that we're not all there and you want to end the conversation early? Like, I'm looking at it.
It's full delusion, bro. Like it is. It's 100%.
Scott, do you believe that they feel like they're actually building the best team?
Yes, like because ultimately, as much as we throw shit at them, and deservedly so, these are billionaires, right? They have had success in life through using the way that they do business or whatever, and are billionaires. They are successful people. So I am 100% like you. I don't think can get to that level without doing things right and understanding when to do something and when not to do something right. And if something's not working, changing it. So I think they fully believe what is going on is working. I think what they are doing, they fully believe is the right thing to do in their mind to get to where they want to get to, because they think they know best. Like that's all it is. It's just them thinking they know best. It's pure delusion and ego. Like that's what it is. Because there's no way, if you had football people, not even football people, if you had like people of a different owners of a different persuasion, right? They would see this differently as well. So you can't look at what's going on and go, this is working, and think this is working, and watch the way our team's set up and watch the way that some of our players play and go, yeah, they're the best players in the world. They're working. This is working. Unless you fully believe that what you're doing is working. Unless you're fully in the mindset of this is going great.
Just to say something, like I've seen Matisse getting a lot of hate and a lot of Chelsea fans calling him a brown envelope, and I just feel like that's a bit disingenuous. Like if you've been watching Matisse's content and following it for quite some time, like you know that he's strongly been blue call out clearly, he's been calling out this manager, and he's been calling out these players, he's been calling out sporting directors, he's been calling out owners. So the fact that people have like started to like say that, and I it's just a bit distasteful. And I'll be real, I think 90% of it just comes from hate, because like in the UK, let's be real, it's bad vibes. A lot of people tend to hate on one another when somebody's doing very well. And Matisse, credit to the guy, man, he's been killing it, bro, for a couple of years now. And I feel like a lot of people are just like, yeah, they're just a bit resentful that there's a guy there that's working his ass off, putting how much content out there, doing well for himself. He gets a meeting and all of a sudden he's a brown envelope. Nah, I'm completely against that.
Apparently, I got called out the other day. I mean, I don't watch it, but I get sent clips when what's his name? When Johnny calls everyone out. He called me out. Lewis, I remember. Do you know what? I miss your debates with Johnny Lewis. I miss that.
I don't.
You're the only one.
I really enjoyed those debates. I know you were pulling.
I think he's at his element now because we don't talk about football. He just talks about the ownership. Like at least that's his niche. And I respect he's got a lot of things correct on that front, but it's the same way. Like, we're in a bit of a different thing where, like, I see a lot of comments telling us you need to just talk about Blueco out and only Blueco out and nothing else but Blueco out. But we're a football channel.
Boys, let me show you this clip that I was sent. Just bear with me, Scott. Just bear with me for a sec. This is a clip that I got sent the other day. It is brilliant. I just want to say a lot of the stuff he says is not true, but it is good entertainment. Let's see if I can get this up.
And so they got the right intention. They really are building something. They're very knowledgeable. That's what he said. Now he's spitting the minerals.
Oh shit! Wrong clip, boys. Wrong clip. Just give me a sec. Go on, keep going, Scott. Sorry, mate.
I was just gonna say, I think the thing with the like going blue, like just talking about Blueco all the time, and let me just say, Blueco out, because it needs to be said, because some people will think that I'm defending the owners. But there are some times, like the game yesterday, yes, it's on Blueco in some sense, because some of these players like Delap are shit. But bro, we've had the same players the whole season and not looked completely devoid of, either confidence, creativity, defensive ability. So, like, yes, 100% Blueco need to, like, get cooked 100% for the shit recruitment and the fact Rosenior's even here. But I'm going to cook. The reason we lost the game yesterday is ultimately not on Blueco. It's on Rosenior. Like, Rosenior's the reason we lose yesterday, because we could have had the same players and the same manager, and if he decides not to just be a moron, we probably win that game.
Let us know. Let us know if you agree with,
Like-
with Scott on that one as well in the
Like,
comments,
yeah,
guys.
fuck Blueco and everything, but fuck
The
Rosenior
overall
as
message
well.
is Blueco out, isn't it? That's the overall message we want to give. But if we're looking on like yesterday's game and stuff, yeah, it's 100% on Rosenior and the players.
Right, boys. I've found the clip. I found it. This is where I get called out. Right.
Alex, I met you. You won't call it out because you're scared you'll lose your season ticket. Your season ticket that your old man, who's done very well in life, I'm sure, has got 4 season tickets. And he's got ties. Well, not so ties, but he's had meetings maybe. He knows off. He brushes shoulders. Let's put it that way, politely. Brushes shoulders with certain owners. You've met Bowley. You asked Wiz what he thought about the fucking game and Bowley what he thought about the game. You somehow get slots to go on Talk Sport. And sometimes you land it. The reality is you're scared of losing your season ticket. So you won't call it out relentlessly. So they've got you like done you like a kipper. And everyone that goes on your platform, fucking hell, no substance FC. Some of them want to land it. Some of them can't land shit.
So
Another one. Luis Benavente.
Let's finish on that.
Is he saying that he believes that you're not blue co out, Alex?
Be the stupidest.
Hold on, didn't you meet Bowley in a hotel while you were going Salzburg away?
Let me be very clear. I have no connections to the ownership. I met Bowley in the hotel in Austria, and anyone who knows, because I've logged it, I had a nap and I got woken up by my dad, who said, "Graham Potter's in the lobby. Come downstairs." So I'm going down on the lift. Come downstairs. Potter's gone. Oh, fuck's sake! And then Egg Barley and Bowley were there, so I had like a 10-15 minute chat with them. And then I got Bowley to say like and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. That's where the clip came from.
You're brought out because of that and because Wiss walked past you while you were doing fan cams. And you've had the nerve to go on Talk Sport once or twice.
No.
By the way, I don't get paid for that.
This is what I mean. Where it's like, look, he's got a lot of stuff right about the ownership, but just stick to all of that. Once you start going away from the ownership, then you start talking bullshit.
You're just trying to create enemies, basically. That's what
don't call out everybody and like, bro, you're not making any sense. Oh, he met Bowley in a hotel one time.
Bro, he's just an idiot, man. Like, he's just an idiot. Like,
I mean, remember he put Mason Mount in his all-time 11, Chelsea 11.
Yes, he did. because he's brain dead. That's why.
It was good.
Actually, no. It's not even because he's brain dead. Ironically enough, considering all of the shit we just talked about, it's because he knows Mason Mount's dad.
Huh? Oh, does he?
Johnny does.
Or as far as he has some link to Mason Mount's dad. I think he's met him or spoke to him or knows him of some description.
I'll tell you a story about Johnny. Well, Lewis, you've sat in my seats. Well, my dad's seats, not my seats. But by the way, my dad doesn't have 4 season tickets. He has 2. I have 2, and he has 2. I sit in Matthew Harding, and he has hospitality, which every now and again I get to sit in.
Wait, speaking of bought out, didn't he say to you that he'd do fan cams if you gave him more of those free season tickets?
So he came to.
I remember you telling me.
Do you remember the game when Tuchel was sitting in the stands?
Yeah. He's done that a lot, isn't he?
It was when Gallagher got sent off. He was playing a pivot. I think he got sent off.
Leicester.
Yes, and Sterling scored. I was about 10 rows away from Tuchel. So I walked past Tuchel to get to my seat. And by the way, we sat on the table next to Mason Mount's family. Johnny didn't say anything to his dad. And then, after... He said, if you keep giving me tickets like this, I'll come on the channel.
That sounds pretty bought out, doesn't it?
So it's ironic.
He's a monumental hypocrite.
I've never actually had a problem with Johnny. I still don't have a problem to this day. I just find it. Some of the stuff it really offends me what he said in the past. I remember a couple of years ago he compared me to Robbie. And I was just like, it's nothing like that. You know, I think, he said that I worked with Robbie. And I was like, no, You know,
again, he's. Do you know what it is, Alex? Because like he hears things, and instead of like a normal person doing any level of critical thinking that requires, half a brain cell to do, really, let's be honest, he just conflates stories together. So like he might hear that, this YouTube guy does work with Robbie, but instead of actually realizing that it's not you, it's another YouTube guy, he just conflates the two stories and suddenly it's you work with Robbie. Instead of it requiring literally half a second of critical thinking, use your half brain you have to just go, no, that's not Alex. Never mind. But no, he doesn't want to do that because he's fucking stupid.
I don't know. I actually don't have a problem with Johnny even to this day, because some people, some people like to be a little bit more direct. Not a problem. I would happily have Johnny back on the channel, happily, and I think he'd do well for it. I mean, speaks all about the message. Fucking hell, I'll give you a platform, no problem. Doesn't bother me. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I don't know this Johnny guy, this Johnny Minerals guy, but
great fun.
If I don't have an opinion on him, but if he's saying that Mason Mount's in his all-time Premier League, all-time Chelsea 11, like.
Oh, I remember it was on one of Lewis's streams, I think. But
it was on Sergeant City. That was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. That was the funniest.
I would just say that maybe like, I don't know, man. Something has to be wrong with you if you think that Mason Mount's in the Chelsea all-time.
Let's have it right. Anyway, let's move on from J-Mins. I thought that was a funny clip anyway. Thought I'd address that. So no, I do not have any affiliations with Chelsea's owners, and no, I do not get paid by TalkSport. I just go on. And by the way, the reason I go on, nobody else does, is because they invite me at 6 a.m. in the morning, and nobody else wants to wake up that early. So that's the reason I probably get the call up, is because I'm the only one who can be bothered to get up. But anyway. Let's. What have we not spoken about, guys? We've spoken about the defense. We've spoken a little bit about the midfield. We haven't really addressed Kaisedo and another yellow card.
That was a yellow card, by the way. No way, that was a yellow card, man. He got the
this
ball.
brother gets refereed so poorly, it's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure the yellow card, by the way, comes though from like the what's it called? The challenge that the yellow card comes from a Fofana mistake, by the way. I'm fairly certain about that. It's either
it was your right.
Yeah. Great.
Fofana misheads the ball and then gives the ball away. Then Kaisedo has to make a last ditch.
You know when it comes to Kaisedo, I feel like Kaisedo would be. I've said this before. Scott's agreed with me, but I feel like Kaisedo's best position would be as a box to box, in terms of having a holding midfielder there, like a Regista, like a Jorginho, and having him box to box, because his ability to win the ball in the final third, and he's a very underrated ball carrier, and he's got this ability to play 1-2 touch football. But I feel like that tempo setting sort of style of play, he has it, but in parts, like he would also benefit from having a player of that sort of profile next to him, and I think that would just elevate his game. And yeah, I would love to see Moises Caicedo with that sort of partnership, with that level of partnership. I don't know. What do you think?
By the way, what was the Kaisedo Lavia substitution about as well? Because like he was one of your best.
I think he was on a yellow card. I think it's because he was on a yellow card. It was a dumbass. It was a dumbass sub to make. But to be fair, all his subs yesterday were shit.
You lose that passing from Kaisedo as well. I mean, like he's a good passer as well.
To be fair,
as well, there's like you did shooting off yesterday as well. There's so many times where he was at the edge of the box, so like shoot. You had like literally like no defenders near him, around him, or anything. You had like a clear shot of goal. We know he's got a shot on him. I mean, look at the goals that he scored for us this season and in the past. I mean, yeah.
Would you not say like him, if Lavia was playing in a 6 and we were playing a traditional 4-3-3 with 2 8s, having a Kaisedo there as one of the 8s, I think he'd be incredible. I think that would just.
I'm being honest. Our midfield going forward should be Palmer in the 10, and then Kaisedo in the 8, and then one of Lavia or Santos next to him. That needs to be our midfield going forward.
No Enzo.
Fuck Enzo.
And you know, Enzo's a really weird one because
Fuck Enzo, he's terrible.
if we hadn't have paid what we paid, it would have been an easy decision. Just because we paid so much, you kind of feel like you have to put him in there. That's the problem, isn't it? I will say one thing I do like about Enzo. I think he's a good leader on the pitch.
Alex, this is what it comes back to, is the profile, the way that we sign players. We didn't sign players we just signed a bunch of young players. Like, you signed Enzo, who's sort of an 8, but he's played as a ball playing 6 from time to time. Then we've got Cole Palmer, who's naturally a 10. Then you've got Lavia and Kaisedo, who are both sort of 6s, and Kaisedo has the ability to play 8 that I don't think Lavia does. Like, those 4 players, I don't think they can play together. I feel like one of them has to go, and in my opinion, I would say Enzo Fernandez has to go. In my opinion, that's what I think.
Enzo in the 10, by the way, is a box. If he isn't box crashing, he's doing nothing. He's doing sweet fuck all. If he's not,
he can get some good numbers when he gets in the box. I will give him that.
No, 100. Alex, I said as a box crasher, that's the only thing he brings in that number 10 position. Outside of box crashing, if he can't box crash as the number 10, which he had an opportunity to yesterday, by the way, and left it for Palmer in the box. Guy has a chance to shoot and just dummies it for Palmer for no reason. But anyway,
Fernandez's shooting is pretty average.
Oh, it's terrible. But if he's not box crashing, he brings nothing in the number 10. He's a complete net negative in the 10 because he's not a good presser. He's not good defensively off the ball. His passing is so hit and miss. Like, one game he'll have where he did that pass to João Pedro against Villa where we got the goal. Another game he'll have like he did yesterday where he's creating nothing. If he's not box crashing, he is a basic net negative in the 10.
Here's a good one for you boys. Not a project. CFC have announced another protest against the Chelsea ownership. Further details will be announced in the coming weeks.
I don't care. It's not going to lead to anything.
Well, there was
the majority of match-going fans just turn their noses up at anywhere, and they just devalue it from the start. So you're already on the back foot. Sure. I don't want to be part of the protest. It's going to be a ton of YouTubers, but then you're just going to tap your ticket into the ground and do anti-clear late chants in there anyway. So what the hell is the point of all that?
It's not even just that for me. Like, these protests should have been going on. Why did you stop after the last one? Even if it wasn't great, which it wasn't.
They're doing another one.
No. You should have kept protesting 4 games after that last one, the one we went to for Brentford. We didn't. We won, and we kept winning, so no one gave a shit. It's only now we're dropping points again and losing, we're starting this again, as it is always. It was the same with the first one. We protest, beat Southampton, no one gave a shit. Then we beat Brentford.
Great protest that we've ever had.
No one gave a shit. You have to keep protesting. If you want change, you have to keep protesting, whether the outcome is good, bad, or indifferent in terms of both who turns up and on the football pitch.
I don't think a protest every week is realistic, just because I don't see enough
nothing's going to change.
Passionate fans that are willing to go every week. But I think if you're doing it once a month, let's just call it that.
25,000 season ticket holders.
We're not doing it once a month. The last one was in what, Brentford, which was January. It was Rosinier's first game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they've put. Chelsea Dodgers has quoted this, and he said, "Key protest details. No Spurs songs." I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Because on the first one, everyone chanted, "What do we think of Tottenham?"
Well, you had the last protest.
I was
not the second one. The first one. It wasn't the second one. There wasn't actually. The first one is because what do we think of Tottenham chants happened in the middle of the protest.
No, I'm sure it was there for the second one as well. Then there was also a ton of other ones. Fabregas chants, Kaisedo chants, Champions the World, all of that.
There might have been before I turned up, because I know you were there before me, Lewis. From when I turned up onwards, I don't remember there being any Tottenham chants. There were definitely other ones, but the Tottenham one specifically, I don't remember happening after I turned up.
I was there. They happened. I would say, when it comes to protests, it has to be organized very well, and it has to be organized by people, by a group of season ticket holders who actually have say. Like, we have 25,000 season ticket holders. A large number of them, a few hundred, not even under 100 of them, can come together and organize a proper one. Like, with all due respect, even if you were to get the top 10 Chelsea content creators, I know Lewis is in there, but they would not have the pull because you have to realize a lot of our match going fans are 50-year-old men that got wife, got kids, and they're not on social media. They probably don't know a lot of the content creators. The content creators have fans from India, from South Africa, all of these places. But those guys in the stadium, those guys in and around London, they have to be they have to be pulled by these by the support. And if you're going to organize a proper one, it has to be good. Like you have to have a set time to meet up. You have to have a set time that you're going to walk down. Like the organization from a protest will only ever be as good as its
I actually think some of
by the way,
our ex-players need to sort of like
come
that's
in as
something
well.
that could work as well. Like, for example, like
yeah.
it's something that happen, but say like a John Terry leading the protest or something, or
Can
organizing
you
it for everyone.
imagine?
But
Can you
no,
imagine
it
JT
would
leading the
work.
line?
I'm there if JT's leading it.
If JT's leading it, or someone like a Frank Lampard, Ashley Cole, just whatever for whatever.
Frank would never do it. He's too busy. He's got too much work.
Yeah, it's not like he's doing.
John Terry's not got much going on, to be fair. So yeah,
John
that
Terry,
makes
Petr Cech, let's just say one of our ex.
Drogba.
Yeah, or even if
Drogba's
one of
not
them
working
lead
right
it,
now. I know
if
he
one of
won't
them starts,
Ballon
then
d'Or.
no doubt there'll be so many people there.
I mean, there's a few other things they say no chance about former or current players, no chance, every chant, no chance about former or current managers either. All of our energy should be directed at the same message: Blue Clo and Clear Lake out.
Cool.
I think the only problem with that, though, is, I mean, if you've been to the process before, you'll know this, is it is quite difficult to chant the same thing for an hour. And I don't want to be that guy, but
I don't know. Maybe we could bring some drums in and like take a page out of Europe's.
I mean, if you want to be,
easy for us to do that in the concourse of an away game. Just
no,
tell
but
people
we're changing up the chance.
Everyone that's like, I'd rather go to the pub. Get some fucking tinnies and then build an atmosphere. It'll be cheaper than going to the pub anyway.
I mean, so how many chants have we got? We've got, we don't care about Clear Lake, they don't care about us. We've got fuck off Todd Bowley, fuck off Egg Barley. That's 2. What else have we got?
Get out of our club.
Yeah, that's 3.
I'm actually racking my head.
Let's get up to 5. Let's get up to 5. Give me 5 chants.
I don't think we've got them.
They said no managers. They said no manager chance, and they said no player chance.
We want our Chelsea back would be 4.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I was thinking. Yeah.
You're not wanted here.
Oh, that's good. What about this one, Lewis? Champions of the world, Champions of the world. Can you remember when they started, mate?
Yeah.
Was I standing next to you and Scott, and then they started going
Kaisedo champions.
They started doing the Esteval chants. Oh, Enzo Fernandez.
Early for this shit.
But again, all of this means nothing. The protest will happen. It won't mean nothing because in 2 months, no one's going to care. We're not going to do another one. If you want this to actually last, some people have talked about this. Go and look and go and watch. And this will never happen in England, and especially will not happen for us. Go and look at what Lazio are currently doing to try and get their owner to sell the club. They are boycotting games. The last 4 home games, let me read you the attendances. 5,400. I say 5,400, 3,400, 5,000. Then the last one, no attendance given. They are boycotting games. They are not going to games, and they are doing it every single week, game after game. When Strasbourg were trying to get Blue Coat to sell,
this is the issue, though. This is London. You have to remember.
Like before.
What is their usual attendance?
Because in Italy, if we're being honest, they don't tend to sell out every week. Again, I'm not saying that's an excuse, but I'm just curious.
But this is the issue.
20, 30,000.
I genuinely don't think Chelsea's boycottable. And I'll be honest, bro, we're a London club. You need to realize London is probably one of the biggest tourist attractions in the whole world. Like how many people come to London day in, day out? They'll be able to fleece those tickets to tourists. I genuinely don't think that we'll be able to do that. I don't.
So for last season, by the way, for reference, last season their average home attendance, Lazio's, was anywhere from 44,390 to 44,786. So we're talking. That's what, a 90%?
That's our stadium. That's our stadium.
That's a 90% decrease they've had of people not going to games. And it happens every single week while they're trying to get the owner out. The Strasbourg, when they're trying to protest, they are doing mass protests in the street. with a large group of people.
Maybe if we throw something on the pitch,
capacity of their stadium is 70,000. So even if they're not selling out, you're talking about they have a 70,000 seater stadium with 5,000 people in it. That shit looks
crazy,
empty.
man. That takes us back to COVID. Was anyone else at that Leeds game? Remember straight after COVID? Yes, I think so.
No. That was a lockdown. Yeah, I won at that one.
No, yeah. Like, I just don't think that you can boycott us. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, when you think about it, Chelsea's one of the biggest clubs in the world. We're in London. Like, you can literally come. You can literally go to the stadium at ease. Through transportation. They'll be able to fleece.
Someone else will just sit there.
Yeah.
And also, like, the point that I brought up on my stream earlier was that everyone wants to use the Lazio protest as like an example. We forget how cheap Serie A tickets are. You can give up like a 10 quid, 20 quid ticket. It don't hurt you too much. The price is to go to Chelsea nowadays. You can't do that. You can't do that every home game. Do you know how much money you're pissing away? It's different. You're going to say, oh, you have to make sacrifices. Yeah, you tell people to give up hundreds of pounds and not even get the tickets to games they want to watch. It's not realistic.
I'd have a lot more respect for people if, and this would take a bit of organisation, but put your money where your mouth is. And if there are season ticket holders, and I'm sure there are, that would be willing to give up their tickets, why don't you personally reimburse them for their tickets if you believe in it so much, right? So why don't we raise money? And then all those Chelsea fans that have already paid for their tickets, season ticket holders, obviously, put that in a pot, and then they won't have to go to the games. That they get reimbursed, as opposed to
so much money laundering there, my friend. There'll be money laundering.
Don't go to the game.
Yeah, difficult to prove it, isn't it?
I don't think it's that difficult. You can do the protests. My point is the protests have to be every single week without fail. Home and away, and especially then it's a fucking pointless. Then everything not a project are doing is a complete waste of time because it will never be successful.
They're bringing attention to the matter, which is still important.
But we know, like, the attention has been brought, Alex. Like, after the last two protests, the attention is there. The attention has always been there.
No, but they're shining a light on it. They're shining a light on it more, right? They're scrutinizing what we're doing. That if they didn't do this, there wouldn't be.
I mean the organising of protests, not the other stuff.
What was
the organising of protests is a great protest because it's not going to lead to anything. Because you're not, if you're like I said, if you're going to do this, you have to go all in. You're not. You're half-arsing this by doing it once every 2 months.
Scott, what was that great protest we did? I think it was when the Super League got announced. That was amazing. Like, Chelsea. I'm so proud of our fan base because we were the first fan base who was a part of that Super League. That literally got their ass to that stadium. They didn't let the bus go in. I saw fans swearing at Petr Cech. As much as I love Petr Cech, bro, rightly so that day, because that was absolutely disgusting that they tried to destroy the footballing pyramid. Something like that has to happen. There has to be that level of passion. That was incredible. That's how you get your point across. And the fact that I was at the Brentford one last time, and I had my ticket as well. I came to the protest. It was underwhelming. Yeah, I get into the stadium. I saw hundreds of people just walking past the protest area, not getting involved. And then when I'm in the stadium, I'm hearing Clear Lake chants. I'm like, what were you like? Why weren't you outside then? Like, why weren't you outside? I just don't understand it. It makes no sense. And that game, we were shocking as well, that Brentford game. Like, if Sade had scored that chance, we were diabolical. And I think that's our only Premier League clean sheet. And just because Brentford didn't have their shooting boots on that day, is the reason why we didn't win that game. Like, why? And when we weren't winning at that point, you're all saying blue call out, fuck off, Barley, all of that. But you don't want to get your ass outside the stadium 30, 40 minutes beforehand. It just makes no sense. This fan base, I don't understand it sometimes. Like, you've got half of us that are pissed off. You've got half of us that are pissed off but are willing to give these lot a chance. My friend, do you give a girl a chance that rejected you 4 times? No.
Interesting comment as well from someone saying Strasbourg. Fred says Strasbourg protests regularly. What's it done for them? And I can tell you, it's they have been sort of like negotiating with the club, with Blue Clo, throughout the season, because they bring banners into the game as well, and they have I think it's a tifo or something like that. Also, the ultras were banned, if I'm not wrong, for a period from Strasbourg, and one of the conditions that Blueco wanted was Strasbourg for the first, I think it's 30 minutes or 20 minutes of every game, they're silent, they sit down on purpose, and then they make some noise. And I actually saw it when they played against Crystal Palace in the Conference League this season. They have a flipping incredible atmosphere, but for the first 20 minutes of silent, I was like, what's going on? So one of the things that Blueco wants is for them to stop doing that. They've refused, so that they're not doing that. They said, right, we're going to continue to do that. But they have made concessions about the banners, the Blueco out banners. So they agreed to stop using some of those so that the ultras could return, to and start going to some games. So that there is a bit of there's a massive disconnect there now. And I mean, this just goes to show, though, right? I mean, can we say that there's been any genuine positives for Strasbourg from those protests? I think the answer is no. I mean, it's not made life better for them. Having said that, if everyone's doing it, then there is some sort of pressure. And
should I be honest? I think if we were doing what Strasbourg were doing, we'd have a lot more success, because you have to realize Chelsea is one of the most watched teams in the world. The Premier League.
Well, Man United are also one of the most watched teams in the world, and their protests haven't done much.
Yeah, but they're not protesting like Strasbourg. That's why I said if we were protesting like that.
No, but Man United do protest like that. They do.
They don't sit down.
When they protest, when Man United protest, it's very impressive. You don't remember during COVID when they went on the pitch and they stopped the games going ahead
in COVID when there was no games.
But even recently, like I see the protests, they're well organized. They've got a good turnout. I mean,
they don't protest regularly. They don't protest regularly.
But why do you think that is then? Why do you think that is? There's got to be a reason.
That's an English fan thing. That's an English fan thing. That's not a Chelsea or Man United thing. That's an English fan thing. Because like these other European countries, if they want something to change, and if they want to affect change, they will go about it and they will do it. Especially the French. Like, yes, if they're not happy about something.
That's true, man. When they're upset at their government, bro, they shovel shit on the
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
they shovel shit like they're
I was just saying, bro, I think I could be wrong on the details of this, but I'm fairly certain that when they had like a motorway speed limit got announced, they blocked all motorways. They had people stand in the street, block motorways. Like just to stop this motorway speed limit. It's like, so if you want to, this is why I say that the protesting as a activity, let's say for lack of a better term, is probably not amazing, right? But what it does, if you do it regularly, it gets eyes, it gets voices, it gets noise on your club, it gets bad noise on your club. Because like if you're protesting every single week and it's large protests and it's vocal, that will be covered. Whether you're Crystal Palace, Chelsea, or Ipswich, that's going to be covered. Like when, what's it called? When Sheffield Wednesday are regularly protesting against their ownership group, not going to games, throwing shit on the pitch, doing all they're doing, that got covered regularly. That was Sheffield Wednesday, who are currently relegated to League One. They got covered regularly because of how terrible their owner was. So if it's Chelsea, it will get covered by every
get like ping pong balls, like table tennis balls, and throw on the pitch.
Yeah, it needs to be something like that. It needs to be,
I would say like everybody don't turn up for the first 20. Well, say in the concourse for the first 20 minutes, show an empty ground, and then everyone walk in. AC Milan have done that. That'd be a bit more realistic.
That's good.
You still watch the game. You still get the whole social aspect that a lot of fans
or do a walkout like 70 minutes or something like that, or the other way around.
No. That first 20 minutes thing sounds amazing, and that's very, very doable. That's a great idea. Like I don't know why nobody's thought about that. Think about it. Like imagine the Premier League panning to imagine the players coming out, lining up, and they literally see no one in the stadium, and then 20 minutes later everyone comes in. You know how much coverage that would get? That would be crazy.
Because they don't want to. And someone in the comments actually reminded me, you want to show the difference, and I'm not advocating for what I'm about to mention, but just to show you the difference between English fans and European fans. Does anyone remember when Ajax were going through their shit period? They had fans smash the shit out of the entrance to the training ground. Like, actively smash the shit out of the entrance to the training ground because their team was playing like shit. In Nice, they attacked the team bus. They attacked the team bus. This is what fans in Europe will do. They'll go to extreme lengths. And like I say, I'm not advocating for us to do that stuff. But I'm saying these fans in other countries will go to extreme lengths to affect change within their football club because what they're seeing is not good enough, whether that's on the pitch, from the players, manager, owners, whatever. Us in England
when you think about it,
do a bit of a protest for about an hour and then go sit, drink beer and cheer.
I mean, when you look at Arsenal for 20 years, bro, they were protesting. What the hell did that get them? Cronky out. Like it wasn't organized.
Cronky out now because obviously they're doing well on the pitch and stuff. So
what a day, huh? What a day. Let's read some of the super chats. Big up to Crack X Dodo, zero accountability. This is Poch reincarnated. Talking about Rosenior, obviously. Big up to you. Thank you very much. And then we got a triple super chat from Dope Sports. Hashtag bring Maresca back. Hashtag bring Maresca back. Hashtag bring Maresca back. So, I mean, do we agree with that, guys? Are we going to take anything from that? Would you, by the way, would you take Maresca back? And then I'll flip over and I'll go,
yes.
Maresca take
Rosenior. Oh, definitely.
I would, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like you're mentally insane if you think that you wouldn't take him over Rosenior right now. I'll be honest.
I'd take Maresca back, man. I think he'd be he set us up much better at the moment to what we're seeing. I think you'll get I think you needed I mean just a transfer window of players that you wanted really. And yeah, he's known to be better in big games as well, which Rosenior's lacked in so far. And so far in the big games this season, we've looked completely not this season, sorry, since he's taken over, we've looked really, really poor to be honest with you. But one thing about Maresca, he definitely knew how to pull out a result when we needed one against one of the big boys. So yeah, I'll take him back.
I wouldn't.
Let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree.
I just wouldn't take him back. Not because I don't think he's better than Rosenior. He is, obviously. He's miles better than Rosenior. I just think because of the way he left, I think there's always going to be something that's broken there. And I just don't think that's fixable, like, behind the scenes. I just think it would just be such a weird dynamic that, like, I don't think you can fix that without completely shifting what you've done before, which they should do anyway. But, like, I think that's broken. I think you have to look forward. And I'm going to be honest, we're at the stage where you just have to ride Rosenior out until the end of the season and then sack him in the summer. Like, whatever the result is come the rest of the season. I don't think he is gone, to be honest. Really? Depending on if we have a category, unless we fall off massively and finish like 10th, I don't think he'll get sacked this season. Next season's a different matter. But yeah, like, I think you just have to ride it out and then go and get the next person in the summer. Yeah, I think outside of, like, on the odd occasion, like we mentioned earlier, going back and getting Tuchel, for example, or something, I think going back to old managers is always not great. You always have to kind of look forward. But yeah, he's definitely better than Maresca. Sorry, we're seeing.
Can I just say, if we were to sack him right now, I think we'd be in a much worse position when I think about it, because I'm thinking who's going to come through that door, who's going to.
Yeah, 100%. We'd be in a worse position.
United have shown that you can do well sacking your manager.
Yeah, but do you think these owners have the balls to bring in a John Terry, a man that will literally tell it how it is, a man that knows
it's not even about bringing in a John Terry though. Like, because Alex, I agree with you, but they also had one manager and then brought in Carrick as an interim till the end of the season while they decided what to do moving forward. You've already, like, Rosenior's not the interim. You brought him in on a multi-year contract, on a 4.5 year or whatever it is contract.
No, you're 5 6 year deal, mate.
There you go. You're accepting it's gone wrong after 2 months, and you have to sack him now. And it's like, that's the equivalent of what Forest are doing, and Forest are not the model to follow.
How many managers have we had under these owners?
How many managers we've had? Are you talking permanent or interim as well?
All of them.
Cool. We've had Tuchel, Potter, Bruno Saltor, Lampard. We've had Poch. We've had Maresca. We've had 8 managers under these guys.
As well. Callum McFarlane.
9 managers under these guys.
So 9 managers in 4 years. So they
Yes,
clearly know what
including-
they're doing.
Oh,
The
Willie
fact that these
Caballero,
owners-
has he been a manager?
No,
No.
Willie's never been a manager. And again, no, I don't want that because that would just, if you were going to do the interim thing, you should have done that after Maresca and just ride out the interim thing. You've hired Rosenior now. You have to let him, as bad as it is, you have to let him see the season out. Like, you just have to. You've invested the money, you've invested the time. You have to let him see the season out, come what may, even if it means finishing 8th. But you have to then sack him and actually give the next manager the preseason and the time and whatever players you're going to bring in, because who knows what bullshit you're going to do in the summer, to give him the platform.
I've got a great question, boys. I've got a great question.
Go on, last question, then we're going to wrap it up, okay?
Suppose we finish, I don't know, 6th or something, 5th, 6th or something, and then somebody goes on to win the FA Cup, and we drop down. Would you lot rather want to do Conference League again?
No.
Or not be in it at all?
No Europe.
No.
No Europe.
No, I'd rather have Conference League.
I'd rather not
Europe.
be in Conference League.
No, I
Europe.
tell you why I'd take
Look, the
Conference
Conference
League.
League was
I'd
fun
take it.
for a laugh the last time, man. But yeah, it's a one-night stand you don't go back to.
No, I tell you why it's good, because it allows you to give players a chance that wouldn't normally get a chance.
No, I don't.
And
I don't.
that is somewhere where the model that we like actually works, because if Garnacho isn't firing in the Premier League, he will in Europe, and that's a way that you can actually develop players
40 million for
in a way
Garnacho.
that you can't do that in the Champions League.
And
I'll be real,
the Conference League gives you the
Championship
chance
has
to do
better
that.
quality than the Conference League. I'll be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no,
The
no. Fuck
Championship-
Conference League.
I'm not saying it. I don't know.
The
But,
Europa League could just do that.
yeah, I
And
mean,
you're operating on a loss in the Conference League anyway because of how
I was
little
gonna
you
say,
are in that competition.
that giving chances, I think, is mad overrated. I don't care. Like, I'd rather play once a week, give guys rest, especially because they've had no rest. Play
you
once a
say
week.
that, though,
give
we play once a week and we still wouldn't win anything.
I don't care though.
It's
It's
what
not about that. It's
you
about
got.
giving guys. It's about giving guys rest in between week. It's about allowing the manager to actually have like time in between weeks, and I don't have to hear excuses about we've only got 3 days to train. None of that bullshit. One game a week, please. Thank you. I don't want to play Conference League again.
Fair enough. Well, listen, big up to everyone. Really appreciate you all tuning in. If you haven't smashed that like button, please do. Whether you're watching on X or YouTube, smash that like button and let us know if you agree or disagree with anything that's been said. There's been plenty to talk about today. This has been a good stream. Appreciate you coming on as always, Saeed. Good to see you, mate. Scott, as always, a pleasure. Darmesh, good to see you, my friend. And Lewis, jumping on. To be fair, you've done this show before. This isn't the first time, so good to see you as well, my friend. I look forward to. Have you done 5 things yet?
No, I don't
fair
have
enough.
5 things I learned.
I was going to say, yeah. What did we learn? We're still shit. There you go.
It was the most nothing game I've watched in years.
Well, I look forward to seeing that one. Listen, we'll catch up soon. All the best, guys, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.